Well, good evening and welcome to our live watch long for Kawasaki Frontale taking on Central Coast Mariners. It is the Mariners' final match in the Asian Champions League Elite for this season. Unfortunately, obviously, we have known for some time now that Mariners cannot qualify for the knockout phase. It has been a disappointing campaign overall, but of course, we've been coming up against some of the best teams in Asia. The best teams in Asia. When we've got another young team named tonight, and we hope they go out there and do us proud. But I'm excited to watch this one, man. As we always are, this is a huge competition, and it's been a massive learning process for this extremely young squad throughout this campaign. We have put in some really valiant performances, despite the record that we do have in this competition. Some of the performances have been quite good, especially away from home, man. Earlier on in the campaign, we did some live watch-alongs. I remember when we did a live watch-along for the first game that we had in the league phase against Shandong Taishan, I think it was, from China. And we were fantastic in that first half, especially, and easily could have won that game. And unfortunately, it just hasn't been a great run for us in the end. But welcome here to the live watch-along. Bob's here as well. Goated asks, where can we watch? You can watch this game on Paramount Plus for viewers in Australia. Paramount Plus. Thanks for that as well, Joshy, for jumping in on that. And hello as well to you, Joshy. Good to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Our last live watch-along was almost a week ago. We were live for Sydney FC in their round of 16 matchup in the Asian Champions League 2. Of course, the Sky Blues are into the knockout phase in their competition. Obviously, the Asian Champions League 2 is sort of the second tier of competition in the Asian competitions. Theo Harris, haven't seen him in a while, says Joshy. Look, Christian Theo Harris, he did miss a chunk of the season at the start. He's been back for some time now and starting again tonight. And yeah, let's talk about that lineup as the game is about to kick off in just a moment. So, Pavlicic starting in goal. Not particularly surprising. Obviously, Perech Cullen out for this game due to suspension. He picked up a red card last week in the Asian Champions League Elite. It's a back four of Kazewski, Harrington, Paul, and Moragas. So, no Brian Kaltak tonight. Kazewski, Harrington, Paul, Moragas. So, it's a very, very youthful backline here. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think this is the first time we're seeing just a centre-back partnership of Paul and Harrington, without another recognised central defender in that defensive setup. So we're going for the two younger guys there at the back, the midfield duo of Steele and Eames, who have been very good over recent weeks, Faisal and Theo Harris in the wide positions, and expect Miguel De Pizio to play a central role just in behind Alu Kawal. Hey, we should have a look at the bench as well. Anne Marie's here as well. Is Docker playing? Mikael Docker is not involved tonight. We know a number of players being rested. Docker did come off with a bit of a head knock last week in the Asian Champions League Elite, so it looks like he's getting the rest, so no Docker tonight. Noah Smith's on the bench. Alfie McCalmont's back from injury. That's a big boost for the Mariners. Great to see Alfie back on the bench. Victor Howe is there. Stormer brings the experience. Backup goalkeeper Jack Wachowski. The Lemurs there. Brantman, Shikluna. So a little bit of experience, but again, plenty of youth. And we are about to get underway in Kawasaki, Japan. Here we go. Looks like a pretty healthy crowd in attendance too. Kawasaki Frontale, who are just getting their league season underway in Japan. They obviously in Japan they play sort of through the calendar year, if you like. They've just sort of kicked off their league season. Obviously, the Mariners. And actually, that was the other thing as well that I think is worth highlighting. It's not a small factor, the fact that Central Coast Mariners, when we started this competition in the Asian Champions League Elite, which was, September, right? That was September, right? It got underway, the league phase. We hadn't played any A-League football. We hadn't played any A-League football. Now we're, 16, 17 rounds into the season in the A-League. So we're at a completely different sort of stage. But, compared to with the teams that we've been coming up against across Asia, a lot of these leagues, at that point in time in September had been going on for months and months. So Mariners were still building some fitness there through the early games in this competition, which I think is worth pointing out. If the competition had started later, for example, I think maybe we would have maybe just been a little bit more competitive. Not that we haven't been competitive. Again, I'm really positive about some of the performances we've seen in this competition. I think the results for Mariners in this Asian Champions League Elite campaign has come from opposition teams, just obviously having just an incredible pool of quality of players to choose from, man. And even last week against Johor Darul Tazim, the Malaysian champions. I mean, I was looking at their squad, man. They've got some players who played at the highest level in Europe. So yeah, I realized last week watching the game, Jordi Amat was starting. He's a former Premier League defender with Swansea City back in the day. Here comes Faisal down the wing. This is a good run, and the delivery was a dangerous one, but that was a nice move. Abdul Faisal looks like he's starting on the right tonight. How have you been, guys? Watch us, Joshy. Thanks for asking, Josh. I've been good, man. I've been real good. Been enjoying all the football that's been going on lately. It's been pretty busy too. We've had the young Socceroos, and they're in action tonight as well. Worth pointing out, the young Socceroos play their final group stage game tonight in the Under-20 Asian Cup. So we'll keep an eye on the lineup. Should be coming out soon for that one. And obviously the A-League has been right in the thick of it in terms of the A-League as well. G'day, Blinkus. Good to see you here, Blinkus. Says J-League is supposed to be changing calendars in a few years to align with Europe and us here. I did see something about that, I did see something about that. So there you go. I wonder if then maybe they would consider changing the Asian Champions League Elite calendar. I think they did recently change it, didn't they? Can't keep up. Hey, Alligator, it's good to see you here. Alligator, it's us. Do you know what's going down on with Germain's contract? I know as much as everyone else. Obviously, it's been a huge story in the past couple of days, isn't it? Germain, Macarthur captain, all-time leading goal scorer for Macarthur FC, suddenly leaving at a crucial point this season. Look, the messaging from the club has been, well, what we should say is that obviously the news came out. I believe it was George Clark, AAP, published an article yesterday afternoon saying that one of the reasons, well, I don't know if it was one of the reasons or the reason for Germain leaving the A-League was apparently he wasn't happy with the standard of refereeing. That's what the article reported. Which is pretty crazy, man. It's not surprising considering we've seen Germain involved in multiple altercations with opposition teams, with referees. We saw he got a ban for some of his actions in Macarthur's game a couple of weeks ago against Western United, and all of a sudden he's now leaving the club. So, yeah, man, it's just a crazy situation. It's a bit shocking, really. But just if we zoom out and just look at Macarthur FC, I mean, this is a team who were pretty good to start the season. They let some top quality players depart in the January transfer window. Jed Drew, probably the big one. Ariaf Piol, striker, young promising striker, leaving as well. So that which already placed a lot of pressure on Germain to lead the attack. And now with Germain going, I'm seriously concerned for Macarthur FC. I mean, there's a real chance that they go into an absolute free fall here down the A-League ladder, because they have one recognised striker as far as I'm concerned at the moment in Harrison Sawyer, who hasn't played a lot of A-League football this season. It's worth mentioning. So, yeah, I feel for Bulls fans, man. I feel for Bulls fans. If to put it in a Mariners point of view, I mean, it's different because Valerie Germain has been crucial to the Bulls' success. I guess from a Mariners point of view, if maybe look at someone like Mikael Docker, who I think is probably one of Mariners' top players. Probably has been Mariners' best player this season. If he was just to suddenly be I'm out with 10 rounds remaining in the regular season, and you're chasing finals, you wouldn't be happy, eh? Anyway, it's a crazy situation, isn't it? G'day, Hunter. Hunter says, Germain, if felt like was Macarthur's last hope after Jed Drew and Piol left earlier this year. Yeah, I mean, their attack is just looking so thin. And look, it's worth pointing out they did sign a couple of players, save Adine Cowie. And that's the other one as well. They signed Cowie from, can't remember where he was playing last. But the reason why he signed for Macarthur was the relationship with Germain. The two had played at Marseille in France. And I believe he made his A-League debut on the weekend, right, against Wanderers. Kahoui and Germain's out. They didn't even get to play together. So it's all a bit bizarre. G'day. Always good to see Alligators in here as well. Says, I don't know how the AFC games work. How many games are the Mariners playing in it? And as a Mariners fan, I believe you're saying that, edits. How important is it for you to win? No, it's fair enough that you asked that because the format has changed for this year. Ooh, Christian Theoharis has taken a hefty tumble into the sponsorship boarding there. I totally understand the confusion. I can sometimes struggle to keep up as well. So this is the final game in the league phase for Mariners, and we are out of contention for the knockouts. So tonight's result doesn't necessarily mean much. Mariners will be hoping to win to avoid bottom place in the league phase. I think that's pretty important. But the thing is, we're playing in a huge competition, Asian Champions League. We want to get a win in this competition. We've only had one draw, and all the other games have been losses, unfortunately. And so this is the 8th match. 8 out of 8. 4 home, 4 away. And while the results haven't necessarily been there for the Mariners, some of the performances have been very, we've been really competitive, hey? Blinker says, my favourite Vele moment was when he managed to get suspended for a cup final for getting dumb yellows. Yeah, he missed out on the Australia Cup final last year where they won Macarthur FC because he picked up a second yellow in the semi-final, which was completely unnecessary, wasn't it? G'day, Just Wild says, good morning, 10 a.m. in the UK, starting my morning with football. Love it. Thanks for tuning in, mate. And hello to Bob Bell joining us. Great to see everyone here for a Tuesday night, at least here in Australia. Live watch along. DiPizio, nice little run. Ball out wide to Moragas is good. Lucas Moragas. His crossing is one of his strong suits, and that was a dangerous one. Alu Kowal looking to get on the end of it. And in the opening 10 minutes here in Japan, Mariners showing some dangerous signs on the counterattack. Just to go back to this game and its importance as well, obviously, I think it's important. It's massively important from a momentum standpoint because Central Coast Mariners are coming into a really crucial point of the season where we've got 10 games remaining, basically, and we just have to start winning games. Mariners have only won 4 A-League men's games this season, but we're in a position where it is totally still open for Mariners to make the top 6 and play finals football in the A-League this season. This weekend, man, home against Western Sydney Wanderers, who are just above the Mariners. Really got to win. Really got to win it, don't we? So a win here would just give us a huge confidence boost, give us a little bit of form, hopefully kickstart the run into finals. Blink says Mariners have started okay. Some good little moments on the counter, hey. What sports do you like, us, Bob? Obviously football's number one. I don't tend to watch all that much other sport. I'll watch a little bit of AFL when the AFL's on, a little bit of rugby league, tennis when the Australian Open's on. That is always on my screen, that's for sure. But honestly, 90% of the time, it's just the round ball game, eh? Just Wild says, I didn't keep up to date with the last season. How did Mariners finish top? And this season, quite the drop off. Any particular reasons? I think the biggest reasons is the changeover of players. I think Central Coast Mariners, which is no surprise at all, Mariners have made this clear that they're a selling club, all about developing players and selling them on for a fee. And Mariners parted ways with a number of players from last season, notably some Socceroos, some players that received Socceroos call-ups in Josh Nisbet and Max Ballard. Those two midfielders, I think that's a massive loss for the Mariners. As Harrington heads away. Mariners being tested at the back here. Danny Vukovic, goalkeeper and captain, retiring. Who else did we lose, man? Dan Hall went over to Auckland. He was great. Jacob Farrell, now over at Portsmouth in England. Mariners have lost some really, really big names over the last few years. And credit to Mariners, man. The club has done a really good job to compete over the last few years. But yeah, this season especially has been a little bit more of a grind for us, I think. Just sort of we've struggled a little bit, and obviously there's been I think injuries is worth pointing out as well. I mean, Mariners were missing a lot of key players at the start of the season. DiPizio was out for so long. Sainsbury missed the first few months of the season. Edmondson is now out and expected to be out for the rest of the season, which is a huge blow, and he missed a good chunk of the season as well. We've suffered a lot of injuries. Brad Tapp is out as well with an ACL. Injuries haven't helped us as well. So I think it's the fact that Mariners have lost so many quality players, and then the injuries as well. Sort of a double whammy. That's really affected. Yeah. G'day, Troy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Long time no see. Welcome, Troy. Says tough old season this one, but very excited for the game on Saturday. Yeah, look, as far as I see it, I mean, maybe I'm being too overly optimistic, but I'm still totally keen on Mariners making finals this season. I think the ingredients are there. It just hasn't quite clicked for us. But we've still got plenty of games coming up. And look, we've got some huge home games coming up. We've got Wanderers at home this weekend, Western at home. We do have some winnable games in the run into finals. And if Mariners can find some form in the last couple of months, then, we're totally a chance to play finals. Especially, I mean, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, Macarthur, with their situation at the moment, with Germain out, I mean, they might be one of the teams to slip down there. Jeffrey says Vukovic was great in Belgium. Fantastic career. Danny Vukovic had very successful in the A-League and abroad. Alrighty. Braden, good to see you here. Braden says, I reckon my Wanderers will beat you 1-0. Sapsford, the only goal scorer. Go Wanderers. I mean, hey, it's a huge game for Wanderers as well. With the point difference between the two teams, if Wanderers get a win, that can really sort of give them a big buffer between them and Mariners. And as well, I mean, Wanderers got that crucial win against their rivals, Macarthur, on the last weekend. So if Wanderers could back that up with a win against Mariners, they are totally in the conversation for finals as well. So 0-0 after 15 minutes. Central Coast Mariners playing their final game in the Asian Champions League Elite. And we want to finish with a positive result. Obviously, a few players being rested, a few players out with injury. I think I just realised as well, Harry Steele wearing the captain's armband for tonight, which is great to see. Terrigal boy, Harry Steele, who's been so consistent in midfield for Mariners this season. Such a youthful team, man. Hayne Eames, Harrington, Paul, all these guys, just so young. Even on the bench as well, so many young options. Bob, I believe you're asking here, what team do I hate the most? What team do I hate the most? For the A-League, I mean, it's going to be Jets, right? It's going to be Jets. Look, Mariners have, I think, established a lot of rivalries over the years. Mariners do have a rivalry with Sydney FC. So, look, we don't like Sydney. I think Mariners and Wanderers actually had a bit of, maybe do still have a bit of a rivalry, but I think it really spawned from that first season. Obviously, Wanderers had that incredible first season where they won the Premier's Plate, made it to the grand final, and Mariners got the win in the grand final 2013. And if you were going to the games at that stage, man, there was some of those games, especially in the following years as well. There was a real sort of bitterness between the two teams, which when Mariners and Wanderers play, man, I get that sense that there is still that that vibe there at least. West Sydney Wanderers, they enjoyed some successful times in their early years. Did not win an A-League championship though. They have been to a few grand finals, but do not have the ultimate prize, the championship. Obviously, I mean, I say ultimate prize. They did win the Asian Champions League, which is certainly worth noting and an incredible achievement. Joshy says, the only thing you can do when your team is sinking is to support them. For me, still attending victory games when we were last made the support much stronger. I mean, if anyone knows that, it's Mariners fans. We all know Mariners really struggled through the 2010s. Multiple wooden spoons, just not winning many games at all. Man. And I was sticking through those tough years, as I'm sure a lot of you other fellow Mariners fans were as well. Troy, it was a difficult time, but like that, and that's why the recent success for the Mariners has felt so sweet, because we've had to really grind through those tough seasons, finishing bottom and just losing game after game, to building a fantastic team, and building a team based off through our own academy, through our own youth products, who went on and performed so well for the A-League team. So man. Go, you can watch the game on Paramount Plus. Everyone in Australia can watch on Paramount Plus. It can sometimes be confusing, I understand, with the broadcast of football matches in Australia. Paramount Plus. This game is on for the Asian Champions League 2 Sydney FC's games. They are only on 10 play. Sydney FC are in action tomorrow night away to Bangkok United, second leg of the round of 16. All square in that tie too. It's 2-2, and we did a live watch along for that Sydney game last week, which was very dramatic to say the least. Ragus down the left. Can we create something here? We haven't really managed any opportunities, any shots on goal, but tell you what, this has been a pretty even start to this game. Defensively, our structure has been good. We've held Kawasaki out, and this is a good little spell of possession here. Alu Kowal is hanging around the middle in the box there. That's some loose passing. Steele and Eames comes unstuck, but then it comes unstuck for Kawasaki. Alrighty. Thoughts of the championship? I put a video out about it last week. It got announced. Hey, it's exciting. I think it's great for Australian football. It's getting up off the ground, and it obviously has to start small and grow from there, and hopefully does turn into a full-on league, season, and hopefully one day, as we all want. I think we're all in agreement that we all want to see promotion and relegation, and I think it is a fair way off happening. But I think it will happen one day, but I think it's a long, long way off still. Hunter asks, so if Sydney FC win that, do they get automatic qualification to the AFC Elite next season? I don't think so. I believe, as far as I'm aware, let's come back to that because here's Faisal in the box. Eames rolls it back to Steele. That's a shot from Steely, but it's nowhere near the target. But again, after 20 minutes of football in Japan, Mariners showing some bright signs. Hunter's asking if Sydney FC win their. I assume you're asking about their round of 16 tie. Do they qualify for the AFC Elite next season? I don't believe so. As far as I'm aware, it's only the winner of the ACL 2 goes through to the Elite. I could be wrong because the format has changed this past season, but as far as I'm aware, I think they might have to win it. Central Coast Mariners, obviously, they qualified in two ways to get through to the Asian Champions League elite for this season. Central Coast Mariners, of course, won the AFC Cup last year, as well as winning the A-League Premiership. The Premiers, the A-League, do qualify for the Asian Champions League elite as Kawasaki attack down the left. Good chance for them. Edge of the box, and that shot goes wide as well. Worth pointing out as well. So, just as I just said there, like the team who finishes first at the end of the regular season in the A-League men's qualifies for the Asian Champions League elite. That does not include New Zealand teams. So at this rate, Auckland FC are currently sitting top of the table. They cannot play in the Asian Champions League elite, and as far as I'm aware, the spot would then fall to the team who finishes second, if I'm not mistaken. And at this current moment in time, that would be Adelaide United, who haven't played Champions League football in some time. Bob asks, where do you think Melbourne City will finish? I think they'll. I'm very sure they'll play finals football. I'd be surprised for them to slip down. I think City will finish top 4 as well. I don't think they'll catch the top 2. I think we will see a top 2 of Auckland and Adelaide come the end of the season. I think City are a serious chance to finish third. Obviously, Melbourne Derby coming up this weekend is a big one, and especially considering that those two teams are sort of right next to each other on the ladder. That result could really determine who finishes higher out of those two big Melbourne teams, City or Victory. What's the snack tonight for everyone else, Troy? If anyone's new to our watch-alongs here, just for fun, I am curious. We do like to ask what's everyone's snack of choice for watching a match of football. Can't say I have any snacks in front of me. Just a cup of chamomile tea does the trick. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Make sure to hit the like button, support the channel. We are all about promoting football in Australia here. Guys, football. G'day, Jasper. How do you think Sydney FC Bangkok will go? I tell you what, dude. Like, considering the first leg after watching that game last week, man, it's wide open for either team, and I almost want to say that it's favouring Bangkok United. Look, they showed some good signs against Sydney. Sydney did dominate overall, but I think Bangkok, with the home field advantage tomorrow night, I almost think they're slight favourites. I mean, Sky Blues, it'll all depend on Sydney FC's lineup. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Adrian Segacic in recent weeks, and he's been in incredible form. I mean, he has to, I think, start. If he starts, I think Douglas Costa, if he starts, and they could well get a result, Sydney FC. But Bangkok United, man, they'll certainly won't. They'll certainly be competitive tomorrow night. Love that rosemary lamb sausage rolls. Love a choice, and ice cream as well. Not a bad little meal to accompany some football tonight. Because Mariners pinned back a little bit here. But this young defence has stood up quite well after 25 minutes. Young centre-back partnership of Nathan Paul and Diesel Harrington. Number of players being rested or out injured for the Mariners. We know Mikael Docker did pick up a head knock, unfortunately, in the game last week at home. Hopefully he is all okay. It's just a matter of resting him for this game, maybe making sure he's all good for his game on the weekend. Ryan Edmondson, unfortunately, ruled out for what is expected to be the rest of the season, according to Mark Jackson, head coach. Suffering a, can't remember, was it collarbone, shoulder, collarbone, one of those things? Upper body injury, I think he said. So, a couple of players out for Mariners. Sainsbury not involved tonight as well, but I don't think there's been an indication in terms of that injury being anything serious. I keep fingers crossed, of course. Kawasaki down the right-hand side. That cross is dangerous too, and Pavlicic. It's a good save. It's a good save. It's a very good save. And Adam Pavlicic, who's got a huge opportunity tonight, finally called into action, and the corner is worked short, away by Harrington. The Mariners survive. Bicycle kick. Oh, goodness me. Bicycle kick comes in from Kawasaki, and it goes wide. But Adam Pavlicic, obviously, he got an opportunity last week with a red card to Brett Cullen, and starting again tonight ahead of Jack Wachowski. And he made a couple really, really good saves last week when he did come off the bench. And look, this is a big opportunity. If Pavlicic here can have another really strong game, if he could keep a clean sheet, which would be a big achievement, and make some top saves, there's totally a chance that Jackson starts Pavlicic on the weekend against Wanderers, which would be a huge call, I know, but yeah. Adam, we shouldn't forget, Adam Pavlicic did start the season as Mariners' first choice goalkeeper. He started that game in the Australia Cup where he did make a couple of mistakes, as well as in the Asian Champions League Elite. And it's been Dylan Perech-Cullen for the entirety of the A-League men's season so far. Pavlicic has been sitting on the bench for a lot of games. Hunters asked a moment ago, do you think Sydney put Redmayne on to start? I think that is a serious possibility. Harrison Devonish-Mears, while I think he is a decent keeper, he has made some mistakes in recent weeks. So, I've seen a lot of Sydney FC fans do want Redmayne to return to the starting 11. G'day, Namar. Good to see you here as well. Asks, do you think Central Coast Mariners will be in the finals? Be honest. Hey, I think there's totally a chance that Mariners play finals football this year. There's a lot of games to go, and if Mariners can find some form towards the end of the season here, absolutely. So I think we seriously can. I think the return of DiPizio is a big one to provide some extra spark in attack. But obviously the injury to Edmondson sort of affects us a little bit. Got some great questions and comments coming in here. Keep them coming, folks. Appreciate it. As we approach the half-hour mark in this game, still 0-0 between Kawasaki Frontale and Central Coast Mariners. Braden here says, Bulls don't play this week, and the loser of the Melbourne Derby could be at the top. Somebody's saying here, Braden, out of the top 6, because if my Wanderers win, we are in the top 6. Could be in the top 4 within next week. I mean, that just goes to show, Braden, right, how tight this A-League season has been in sort of the mid-section of the ladder. As far as I look at it, you've got the top 2 in Auckland and Adelaide, who have, been the 2 best teams this season. I think we can all agree. You've got the bottom 2 in Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar, who have just been so below par. They've been really poor this season. Aside from that, from the 3rd all the way till 11th, it's actually it's pretty open. And yeah, that segues nicely to Bob's question here, who asks, what do you think about the Jets year so far? Well, that hasn't been great. It hasn't been good. But the last few weeks have been good. They have found the results. And the win away to Adelaide on the weekend was a huge result for Newcastle Jets, probably the biggest result of the season. And even the week prior to that, beating Victory at home 3-0 was an important 3 points as well. So, look, Newcastle Jets, there's all of a sudden a little bit of momentum about them. And look, they've got a long way to go, should be said. I did see something from the A-League's download episode on YouTube this week that Thomas Sorensen, I'll be honest, I haven't seen the episode yet, but I did see it shared online that he said that he reckons that the Jets will make finals. I mean, that's a tremendous claim. I think it's highly unlikely, considering how far they have to climb and the other teams who are fighting for those final spots. But I'll tell you what, I mean, it's going to make for an exciting finish to the season if Jets can get the form up. And he reckons, I think if Central Coast Mariners, like my Jets, make finals, makes finals this season, they only just make it in 6th place. Yep, From a Mariners fan, I agree with that. I think the Mariners are playing finals. I think it might come down to the final last couple of weeks, man, and it might be just a matter of sneaking into sixth place. We saw that last season. Hey, I mean, Wanderers were sitting in sixth place for a while towards the end of last season and dropped out right at the end. Melbourne City took their spot. I am familiar with the warm up. I don't watch it every week, but it's great to see the content that the A-League is putting out on YouTube. It's awesome. Jasper asks, what teams do you predict to be in the final? And the score of the final? Ooh, that's a big question, Jasper. It's a big question. Hey, look, the easy answer is Auckland Adelaide. And that's it. And it's, probably at this stage, it's probably likely. Hey, if I had to throw another team in there, I feel like Melbourne Victory, just with the quality they have and the depth they have. I feel like Melbourne Victory could make a push to the grand final. They are experienced when it comes to final series. We saw what they did last year in the finals, going away to Wellington and winning that game. Melbourne Victory. Look, I'll tell you what, it could be like an Auckland-Melbourne Victory grand final. I could see that happen. Auckland-Melbourne Victory. Adelaide have been fantastic this season. I think they do have a little bit of frailty about them, though. And I'm worried in the final series that they might capitulate. Adelaide United has been some time since they've made a grand final. 9 years to be exact. And they have played finals football a lot, Adelaide United, but there's been a few occasions, especially in recent years, where they've been knocked out of the semis. Paul, well done, Paul. Oh, that's got to be a free kick, Mariners, surely. Nathan Paul did well to keep that ball in play and trying to get the Mariners on the attack. He was dragged down for sure, surely. Braden's dropped his top 6 prediction. Auckland and Melbourne City, the top 2, Adelaide in 3rd. Followed by Wanderers Victory and Sydney FC. I can see it happening, Braden. I can see it happening. Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be a big climb for Wanderers, that's for sure. 4th place. And Hunter here asks, who do you think is 3rd? Feels like a race for the Melbourne teams for that 3rd place spot at this rate. Yeah, going along with what I said, I think it probably... I mean, I did say Melbourne City before, but I think Victory could well be there as well. I feel like it will be either Victory or City in 3rd place this season. Kawasaki Frontale again on the... Ooh, it's a dangerous tackle. That's a penalty. Kawasaki Frontale win the pen. And there's been a couple of challenges from Christian Theoharis tonight that have been a little bit late. And that's another one there that was maybe unnecessary. Yep. That's a huge, huge mistake there from Christian Theoharis. No need to dive in. No need to dive in. VAR having a look at it. But it did look like he got a bit of contact. But I tell you what, Christian Theoharis does not need to make that challenge. We had like 5 defenders around him there. Oh, boy. Christian Theoharis. What is he thinking in that situation? Flying in from behind. You've got defenders around him, jockeying him. And Kawasaki Frontale with the opportunity to take the lead. Pavlicic. This would be huge for him, Adam Pavlicic. A rare start for the Mariners keeper. With just 10 minutes remaining in the half. Penalty. Here we go. That's a great penalty, man. It is 1-0 to Kawasaki Frontale. Strong, powerful, clean finish. Not much that I don't think any goalkeeper could do about that. Look at this penalty, dude. I mean, that's power. Oh, to be fair, actually, the reverse angle sort of shows it wasn't all that wide. It was to Pavlicic's left, but there was a solid amount of power on that. And it's 1-0 to Kawasaki Frontale, which is disappointing, man. I mean, we've been very positive in this match and defensively very good. And that's an immense error from Christian Theoharis. He'll be looking back on that with disappointment. Christian Theoharis, who obviously his strengths are in attack. A moment to forget in defence there. But Sam, evening's going pretty well, Sam, up until now. And there's now a trail towards the end of this first half. Do you go for any AFL or NRL clubs, asked Braden? I am a GWS Giants fan as well. I'm a Giants fan in the AFL. Casual fan, I should say. Troy agrees, definitely didn't need to make that challenge. Yeah, I mean, it just... You look at the number of defenders that were around him, like we're just jockeying him. I understand if maybe it's a more sort of, crucial moment where, maybe he's attacking down the wing and he's broken away, but Mariners had numbers back in defence there and just felt completely unnecessary for Theoharis to, was he trying to win the ball? I'm not sure what he was trying to achieve there. Whether he was trying to bring the opponent down or just hold them on. Anyway, who knows? Anyone you're hoping to see in the second half? Good question, Blinkers. Would love to see... I'll tell you what, I'd love to see Alpha McCalmont get some minutes. He's back from injury. That's a big boost for Mariners tonight. Alpha McCalmont, he came off injured against Wanderers about a month ago, isn't it? Alpha McCalmont is back. I would like to see Noah Smith as well. Noah Smith is on the bench tonight, has been... starved of opportunities. He started a game in December against Macarthur. He's had such a limited run, and I don't really understand why. In that Macarthur game in December, for those that remember, he actually played really well. He played really, really well. And for OG followers of Coast West football, you'll know we did a player interview with Noah Smith a few years back during his first stint with the Mariners. Noah Smith, man, especially with that injury to Moragas, who was out for a little while. Again, Jackson was preferring Nathan Paul or even Mick Aldoka to jump in at left back. But Noah Smith, who's obviously a specialist left fullback, just barely getting a chance, and I don't really understand why. Theoharis on the left. Can he make amends for his mistake? Cross is a bit heavy, but he's got the throw. I would love to see Lucas Jacqueluna as well. And as Namar says here, Dylan Jacqueluna's brother. Troy says, I keep forgetting we have Smith. He never plays, but I'll be honest, I don't rate him, but it's probably because he never gets a chance. Yes, I remember that interview. It was a long time ago, but yeah. Glad you remember that as well, Troy. We did an interview with Noah Smith. Goodness me, that must have been 2021, 22, something like that. That was some years ago, and it was Noah Smith. It was when Noah Smith first signed with Mariners. A few years back. We also did an interview with Max Ballard, I remember, a few years ago. And obviously Ballard has gone on to have a great career with the Mariners and now playing overseas in the Netherlands. And as you'll see, Socceroos call up as well. Peak pandemic, that's right, yeah. That was during those times as Kawasaki Frontale hit the bar. I love this. I would love for this to be true, Hunter. As Kawasaki Frontale, it's another shot that flies wide. Hunter here says, could Noah Smith be Central Coast Mariners Segacic? Being a great player, has been benched. Hey, I mean, hopefully Noah Smith achieves the same feats of Segacic. Obviously, Smith being a defender, but maybe he'll get his chance in the second half. We'll see. What do you think the results will be in the this week in the A-League? Obviously, we've got some huge games coming up this week. We're going to talk a little bit more about it at halftime. So I'll leave that for the halftime break, which is coming up in a few minutes. Because this weekend in the A-League is crazy huge. There's some big derbies coming up this weekend. So I would love to get all of your opinions on the upcoming week's fixtures as well. Braden here in the live chat. Always good to see Braden here. Says, hopefully the Socceroos automatically qualify for the World Cup next year in the next 2 to 3 months. We all agree, Braden. Socceroos obviously with 4 games remaining in qualifying. Next up, for the Socceroos, home to Indonesia, away to China. It's been a tricky group stage so far, but if Socceroos can finish top 2, it may well have to be second place. Japan have been cruising at the top of the table in the group standing so far. Socceroos are still in a great position to finish second and qualify for the World Cup next year. We're definitely going to do Socceroos videos when it comes around next month. Is Sutar still injured? Yes, unfortunately. Harry Sutar. I think we're fully expecting that he'll be out for next month's qualifiers. I think that's the expectation here. So Central Coast Mariners here with a late set piece in this first half. DiPizio outswinger. Bit of a flat delivery. And away. DiPizio, nice through ball. Maragas. Oh, that's good. Kual, almost. Good little passage of play there, though, from Mariners. Harris. Come on. Driving forward. Maragas on the left again. Cross comes in. Easy claim for the keeper. Braden, unfortunately, I don't follow the AFL close enough to do a ladder prediction. But all I can say is I hope my Giants are playing finals once again. Oh, Tarnley, that's a good question. What would be your backline for the Socceroos? It's a great question. Tell you what, I'll come back to that question at halftime in just a few minutes, because that does involve a bit of debate. We'd love to hear from you guys as well, actually. While halftime is around the corner, what's your Socceroos backline? Because there's probably a variety of options you could go for there in terms of a defensive setup, especially with the injury to Harry Sutar at the moment. Sasha Kazeski, all right, looking to advance. DiPizio, still going. DiPizio, this is nice. Through for Kual, who just can't get on the end of it. But that was good. That little passage of play there. Got to try and find a way to get these attackers more involved in the game. Ali Kual and DiPizio have been starved of the ball, but it's another corner for the Mariners. Got to finish strong here in the first half. 1-0 to the home team. A penalty, giving Kawasaki the lead. Another corner here. Again, Mariners going for the outswingers tonight. Plenty of tall players down from the box. Nathan Paul is there. Diesel Harrington, other Kual, all dangerous in the air. Kazeski with the delivery. 1 minute of added time for the first half. Again, another flat delivery. DiPizio was lining it up. He wanted to have a go. Miguel DiPizio showed so many bright signs last season. I obviously scored in the grand final, which was a huge highlight for him. And I was so disappointed when he was ruled out at the start of the season with that injury. Great to have him back, and if he can find some form, man, in the final few weeks of the A-League season, that could really help Mariners charge for finals. Oh, finding Maragas. Here we go. Lucas, come on. The Harris can't keep it in play. So look, it has been some moments for Mariners. But that's all it has been, unfortunately. Just moments up to this point. And it is Kawasaki Frontale, who do have a narrow lead, just the one goal. Christian Lee Harris with a bit of a clumsy tackle in the penalty area, gifting the home side the advantage. All right. Hey, let's have a look at the stats from the first half, first of all, and then we'll jump to some questions and comments in the live chat. So far, as you can see, these stats just coming from Google, our live stats. Kawasaki Frontale, 7 shots to 2 on target, 66% possession. Mariners, 1 shot. 1 shot from that first 45. Got to try and do more to create more opportunities, to get some more forward momentum. Get on the front foot a little bit more, hey? And a few corners as well in that first period, but not much coming from it. Look, I tell you what, aside from that goal, Erison with a penalty, 36th minute. Aside from that, like, we've limited Kawasaki, I think, quite well overall. We have. Defensively, we've been pretty well organised, I think. Bob says, I'm going to the Central Coast Mariners game this week. Love to hear it, Bob. No worries, Joshy. Thanks for tuning in, mate. All right, Sammy here. Always good to see you here, Sam. Sam is a Newcastle Jets fan, of course. Sam says, I'm happy as a Jets fan as we are 4 games unbeaten. 2 wins in a row. Both against teams that are stronger than us in most ways. But get ready for the Jets to slowly go up the table and win the toilet seat. Hey, look, Newcastle Jets, man. Credit to them. Yeah, 2 wins. As you say, they're 3-0 against Victory. 2-1 away to Adelaide on the weekend was an incredible result for them. So, yeah. Newcastle Jets. Could they make a surprise run for finals? So, a bit earlier, we had a question from Tan Lee. Tan Lee asks, what would be your backline for the Socceroos? And I posed the question to you guys as well. What would be your backline for the Socceroos who are returning to action next month? Troy has dropped his back 4 here. It says Boss at left back, Rolls and Burgess, and Guerrier at right back. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess the question is as well, does Popovic does he stick with I guess, the back 5? Or does he sort of go to a back 4? He has played, both systems in the past. So, that'll be interesting. I think maybe he will stick with the back 3. But with Sutar out, maybe he does go to the back 4. But Rolls and Burgess are probably looking like two of the most likely options. I mean, Degenek might be a chance as well. We know Degenek was named, I think, in the most recent squad, wasn't he? He's an experienced option if we want him in there. I mean, who else have we got? Obviously, Chicardi, I believe, still out with injury, isn't he? Lewis Miller could be an option at right back, of course, as well. But Geordie Boss left back feels like that's pretty locked down position for him, isn't it? Blinker says, kind of been the story for the Mariners. Whole ACL. Played okay, made a silly mistake, and got punished. Well, and I guess that sort of sums up this level. Hey, like, playing at this level in the Asian Champions League Elite against some incredibly high-quality teams. That's the thing. If you make those little mistakes, those little errors, as you say, the Blinkers, it gets punished, more often than not. So, unfortunately, that's what's happened tonight. Troy says, personally, I think Bache needs to retire from the Socceroos. I mean, I guess he provides. It is good, I guess, having you got a younger option and a more experienced option in that position at left back. And Bache has been reliable for Australia over the years. But yeah, look, maybe it is time to look to go a different direction and look at someone else. I mean, I feel like one day we might even see the Boss brothers as the 2 Socceroos left back, Geordie Boss and Casey Boss. Certainly worth pointing out Hunter. Hunter brings up Hayden Matthews, saying Hayden Matthews could see him getting a start. I think that's a chance as well. I think it's a serious chance, especially if he can continue to get minutes. He has been getting some minutes over at Portsmouth in the English Championship. It's great to see. if he can keep getting games in the lead up to March, Hayden Matthews could feature for the Socceroos in a starting lineup. Maybe a centre-back pairing of Matthews and Rolls, or Matthews and Burgess. Namar's mentioned Delbridge as well. That'd be an interesting one. Harrison Delbridge. I'm certainly curious to see what the squad's going to look like. I feel like we may see quite a number of changes, considering as well how long it's been since the last games for the Socceroos. Is there still meant to be a team announced for the next few games for the Socceroos, Hunter? Yes, we will see that next month. Still a few weeks away until the Socceroos return to action against Indonesia and China in World Cup qualifying. So, hey, folks, coming up this weekend in the A-League, it's going to be huge because we've got some massive derby matches, and I want to talk about them right now. We're going to pull them up in just a sec. Would love to get your thoughts as well in terms of how you think this weekend's matches will play out. Some predictions, some thoughts, some feelings. So, first of all, on Friday, Newcastle Jets Brisbane Roar. Shaping up as an interesting game because we've got a Newcastle Jets side who are high in confidence at the moment against the struggling Brisbane Roar. Jets could get another big win in that game. Continue to climb up the ladder, maybe. So that's one to watch on Friday. And then Saturday is huge, man. 4 games this coming Saturday. These times here are Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Auckland, Wellington, New Zealand derby this Saturday. Huge game coming up. You've got Mariners, Wanderers, both teams chasing the top 6. Melbourne derby, Saturday night, Victory City. And then Saturday rounds off with Glory hosting Sydney. Sky Blues coming off midweek action in the Asian Champions League 2. And then Western Adelaide will be a fun game to watch too. 2 top 6 teams, with Adelaide looking to bounce back with a win. That's Western United will be tricky. So this round in the A-League is tasty, man. Seriously exciting. Bob says, I think it'll be a draw, Jets and Roar. Hunter says Jets will need to win the next 3 games to realistically stay in the finals talk. Yeah, look, they really have to win, most of their games remaining. Hey, if they want to be in the conversation, they can't afford to keep losing matches. So, dude, this is arguably one of probably the biggest round in the A-League so far this season in terms of some of the matchups we are seeing. Hey. I do want to pull up the ladder as well. We'll have a look at how the ladder is standing in the A-League. Because obviously, as we were talking about earlier, it's quite packed. Here's the A-League ladder. How do you feel about your team's position? Where do you think your team will finish? Auckland FC Adelaide on top of the table, and also huge for Auckland on the weekend to go 5 points clear. Victory. Worth mentioning here, Victory have played 17 games. Auckland and Adelaide have just played 16. Victory and City are there. Western are there in 5th place. Sydney currently sitting in 6th. But check it out, man. You got Macarthur, all 3 Sydney teams here, all level on 25 points at the moment. Macarthur have played 18 at this point, but 25 points for Sydney FC, Macarthur FC, and Western Sydney Wanderers. 4 points behind Centre Coast Mariners. If Mariners can get a win on the weekend against Wanderers, all of a sudden we're up to 24, and we are right back in finals conversation. Wellington Phoenix, man, they've just been really underwhelming this season. I think they've struggled in attack, only scoring 16 goals. That is second lowest in the league this season. 16 goals in 16 games. They'll still have finals hopes, but they're starting to slip away. Newcastle Jets on a bit of a run of form at the moment, still in 11th place. And I think we can all agree that we will see Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar finish last. Question for you guys. Who do you think will pick up the wooden spoon? Glory or Brisbane? I think it'll be Glory. I do think it will be Glory. I think Brisbane Roar might win a couple sneaky games at the end of the season. But Glory, I think, will pick up the wooden spoon. I mean, you look at Glory's goal tallies here as well. Actually, just zoom in on this. This is goals 4. Where is it? 12. Yeah, Glory scoring 12 goals in 18 games. It's just ridiculous. Especially when you've got a player who won the Golden Boot last year in Adam Taggart. Nothing against Adam Taggart. Overall, as a team, they just underperformed this year, Glory. They've only scored 12 goals and conceded 41 goals. I mean, it's quite astonishing, really, that Brisbane Roar are below Perth Glory in the ladder. But, of course, we should look at this very important number down here. Brisbane Roar have only played 15 games this season. Glory have played 18. So you think surely Brisbane Roar managed to jump above Perth Glory. Yeah. Bob says, I feel good about Melbourne City. They do have the game in hand on victory. In terms of wooden spoon, Bob thinks it'll be Roar. G'day, Reese. Reese says Brisbane. Hunter says, has Wellington's team changed much from last year? Glory will be picking up the wooden spoon on points difference. Nama says Henry Hall will change Brisbane all season. To answer your question there, Hunter, has Wellington's team changed much from last year? The answer is a big yes. They've lost Finn Sermon, Ben Alt, Bajadar Kraai, Oscar Zavada, Alex Paulson joining rivals Auckland FC. I mean, so many key players departing that club. And look, replacements were decent. Like they brought in Ishige, who's been good, Nagasawa in midfield. Defensively, I think they could have made a couple more signings, but they opted not to do that. So that it's still Wellington is sort of in a similar situation as Mariners, where both had really good seasons last year, lost some of their best players, managed to do a little bit of recruitment, but now struggling. Injuries have affected Wellington as well. Tim Payne was out for a little bit. Kolakowski is out. Rojas has been out as well. So I think those injuries have affected Phoenix a little bit as well this season. No streams planned for the weekend. I will be at the Mariners game on the weekend, so no stream for the Auckland or Melbourne derby. Of course, we'll be keeping an eye on those games. Blinker says, Brisbane will get the spoon. Glory have improved a little bit as the season has gone on, and they made some okay signings. It's a good point there. It's a good point. That's a good point. Glory have shown a little bit more promise in recent weeks. That's for sure. The teams are returning to the field for the second half as we speak. You can watch this game on Paramount Plus. For those in Australia. Luke says, I know relegation isn't a part of Australian sporting culture, but soccer needs it to make the lower half of the ladder matter. Yeah, I mean, we'd all love to see promotion relegation come in, and I'm sure it will sometime in the future. The one thing that is that we do have in place is that the bottom 4 teams are not guaranteed a spot in the Australia Cup competition, which provides some form of jeopardy, I guess, for the bottom 4 there. You do want to avoid those bottom 4 spots because it means you have to go through the Australia Cup playoffs in Darwin. I don't know if it's been confirmed if this year's playoffs being played in Darwin again, but they have been played in Darwin for the last couple of years. All right. Second half for Central Coast Mariners coming up against Kawasaki Frontale. Can we make a comeback in our final 45 minutes in the Asian Champions League elite. Let's have another look once again at the stats from that first half. 7 shots for Kawasaki Frontale. 2 of those on target. Just a 1 shot for Mariners. Hopefully we can improve in that department and keep some more of the ball as well. That'd be good. I'll be curious to see if we see any changes early on in the second half. Another look at the bench for the Mariners. Some potential substitutes. Maybe someone like Vitor Ferrao to provide something off the bench. Calmont might come on. Storm Roux, defensive option. Got some promising young attackers there, and Bailey Brantman and after De Lima. Here we go, folks. So it goes Mariners. One final half of football in this competition. Can we finish on a positive note? Here we go. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Really, really do. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. You can also consider sending in a super chat to support the channel. Okay. So it doesn't look like we've had any changes for the Mariners in the halftime break in terms of personnel. The Harris on the left tonight, Faisal on the right. I think the main thing for Mariners is we're just going to try and do a little bit better to hold on to possession. So it has been a bit of sloppy through most of this season, really. That has affected us, some sloppiness on the ball. If we can sort that out, we can give ourselves a chance at least. Hunter says Adelaide Western United seems to be the game to watch this week, especially if Auckland beat Wellington. Harris to Moragas. I mean, 2 exciting players on that left-hand side there for the Mariners, Moragas and Thea Harris. But again, we could just see there another example of that sloppiness. Just Moragas and Steele looking to sort of combine and just comes unstuck a little bit too easily there. And that's the thing that was unfortunately let us down a little bit in this competition. Alec Wall wins the ball and just can't keep it in. This is a big few months coming up for Alec Wall, isn't it? It really is. With the injury to Ryan Edmondson, there is an enormous amount of pressure on the shoulders of Alec Wall, who was dropped to the bench for the last few weeks. But he has to step up, man. He has to step up last few months. He is capable too. He needs to try and find more goals. One 0 to the home team. And they're looking to start the second half brightly. Corner for Kawasaki. Again, this is a huge test for this young Mariners team, man. Just you look at that backline, especially Kazewski, Harrington, Paul, Moragas, just so much inexperience, but a lot of potential. A lot of potential. Thanks for the reminder, Tan Lee. What's your prediction for the Australia versus China in the under-20s? Hey, look, we've the first 2 games we played were very, very good, weren't they? So I'm backing us to get a win. It might be a narrow win, but if we can get 3 wins from 3 in the group stage, that'd be great. But thanks for reminding me, because that just reminded me to take a look at the The lineup news for that game, which is getting underway shortly in about 20 minutes. Just seen this post on X from South Mariners account. Starting 11 for tonight's game for the Mariners has an average age of 21.7. Isn't that incredible? 21.7. Just one player born before 2000 and 5 academy graduates in the starting 11 for tonight for the Mariners. Just incredible. So, the young Socceroos are in action tonight. Final game of the group stage of the Under-20 Asian Cup. Let's have a look at that lineup. Taladera in the back line. Daniel Benny's wearing the captain's armband. Johnny Yul's there. Diego Quintal. Robinson is in goals. Harrington, Lizolewski, Panman, Randazzo, Agosti, and Mehmeti. A lot of rotation for the Aussies tonight. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. I'm going to give all these guys plenty of game time. But I don't mind seeing a bit of rotation there for the lineup tonight for the young Socceroos. We're looking for 3 wins from 3. And of course, young Socceroos, if we can make it to the semi-finals, we have qualified for the quarterfinals. We can make it to the semis, and we qualify for the Under-20 World Cup, which is later this year, which would be enormous for Australia. Haven't featured in that competition since 2013. I mean, it's in terms of the matchups that are coming up, Bob. I think I have to agree with you there in terms of this being the best week in the A-League. The round that we've got coming up this weekend is huge. Just, I mean, with the New Zealand derby, with the Melbourne derby, and then obviously, I mean, all the matches are really big matches. But especially Mariners and Wanderers, you know, both teams looking to chase the top 6, and Western and Adelaide both in the top 6. Yes, the Harris shot is blocked. That was a good little moment there on the attack. You can see some of the travelling Mariners fans there on the top right-hand corner. Good to see. Aims for Quoll. He's continuing his run forward. Quoll against Kazeski in the attack. We're starting to commit some more numbers forward, that's for sure. Chasing this game, chasing the result. Need to try and create some more opportunities. Again, just the one shot for that first half. That long-range effort from Harry Steele was the only shot, wasn't it? We did look good at moments, but look at this. Harry Steele just getting crushed out of possession. Does well to win it back. And Faisal. Well, what's that? What's the referee ruling here? Is it a free kick? Faisal getting tackled on the floor there. Appreciate that, Bob. Thanks for joining us tonight. So Kawasaki Frontale clearly happy now just to sort of sit back a little bit, maintain a disciplined defensive structure. That's allowing Mariners some more time on the ball at the back. And now the press comes as Mariners work backwards. Here's a chance. Moragas is making a run here. Here we go. Moragas on the left. He's been one of the bright sparks tonight for the Mariners. Through for Theo. Cross. He's blocked, and that'll be a goal kick. Theo Harris, not look. We love Christian Theo Harris. Maybe not having his best game tonight. We love Christian Theo Harris. What a talent! Was part of the championship-winning teams for the Mariners for the last couple of years, but struggled to sort of work his magic in attack. Moragas with those overlapping runs. Those look good. Troy asks, is Juan Mata still injured? I'm not sure, to be honest. Well, it was interesting for the Sydney derby. For the Sydney derby a couple of weeks ago, well, Juan Mata was out for Wanderers game against Macarthur, was it? I remember for the Sydney derby, I remember he was named in the initial ins and outs, but then he wasn't in the game, so yeah, we'll see. The A-League is far from dead, Bob Bell. Far from dead, that's for sure. There certainly are a lot of people who really care about it. And it has a tremendous amount of potential. That's for sure. Qual with a flick on. There's a player down. And what's this going to be? Is it going to be yellow for Alu Kawal? Alu Kawal can't believe it. I'd love to see the replay. Kawal rose high for it. Replay. I mean, another angle. I mean, yeah. It's probably the correct call. I mean, it's definitely a free kick. And the yellow card probably feels fair as well. I mean, Kawal had the elbow up there. And whenever that happens, you always run the risk. So Ali Kawal booked there, and I don't think you have too many complaints. It's one of the tricky ones. Like, players always complain, or protest and say that, what are they supposed to do? You lift your arms up when you jump for the ball. But, I mean, what can you say? I mean, if you have an elbow that's, making contact with another player's face, it's got to be foul. Blink has asked any predictions for Sydney versus Bangkok tomorrow. It's so hard to pick, dude. Like, it really is. I think Bangkok, like in the first leg, Sydney were really, really strong. I think dominated most of the game, but Bangkok United looked good on the counter-attack. But I think this second leg tomorrow night will be, I think Bangkok United will have a lot more of the ball. I think they'll create more opportunities. And with that, I think they might have a real good chance to qualify for the next phase. I think the fact that Sydney drew at home in that first leg really is a massive disadvantage for Sydney FC. So, look, Sydney could well get through in the end, but it'll be close. It could be maybe a 2-1, maybe a 3-2. There could be goals in it. I don't think we have had a shot for memory after almost 15 minutes in the second half. I don't think we've managed a shot yet. Let's check our stats here from Google. 2 shots, apparently. There you go. Maybe we have had one. Well, I'll tell you what, actually, it was probably that blocked effort from Theo Harris a moment ago, which probably counted as a shot. And goal. As we approach the hour mark here, make sure to hit the like button on the stream. Appreciate you guys joining us for our live watch along for the Central Coast Mariners' final game in the Asian Champions League Elite. Great to have our club featuring in this competition once again. Mariners winners of the AFC Cup last year. Unfortunately, unable to replicate that same success in the top 2 competition in Asia this time around. It was always going to be difficult. Kawasaki Frontale on the attack, on the front foot. They haven't had too many chances this second half, have they? Mariners have had a decent amount of possession in the second period. That cross is all right. The head is way off target, though. The flag isn't coming up, though. It's not good at all, Bob. I mean, it's something that's affected us in many games this season, just the lack of chance creation. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch. It's been an ongoing thing throughout this whole season for the Mariners. We've really struggled to create opportunities, and that's why we have, in many games, struggled to score the goals. Kawasaki Frontale. You get the sense now, in the final half an hour, second goal for them may well seal it. It may well be enough. We should have a look at the standings as well. It stands in the league phase here. Obviously, Mariners, unfortunately, bottom. This result will confirm that finish in bottom place. Mariners need a win tonight to give them a chance of avoiding bottom place. Kawasaki Frontale, this result takes them to the top of the league as it stands. A few other teams still yet to play. Yokohama F. Marinos, Kobe as well. Buriram United and Gwangju currently in action as well. 2-0 to Buriram, who did defeat Mariners earlier on in the campaign. Anonymous here says Segacic is a beast. Will probably be sold by the end of the season. I mean, what a start! What a season he's having too. It's been absolutely unreal, Adrian Segacic. Mariners are preparing a couple subs by the looks of things as well. And I think that's what we need. We need something different going forward because, again, Theo Harris forward and Moragas trying to help out. And just a loose touch, you know. These loose touches, these wayward passes, not helping us. Harrington, that's a strong challenge. Tell you what, he's been good tonight, Diesel Harrington, and that's some beautiful footwork from Faisal. And Hayne Eames has some space. That's a good little passage of play. Theo Harris on the ball. Wide for Moragas. A bit too wide. Christian Theo Harris. Oh, again, we love him, but he is seriously struggling tonight and may well be substituted off now, I think. Pizio will be departing to be replaced by Bailey Brantman. Looks like Arthur DeLima is going to come on as well. Arthur DeLima. Well, he's on for Alu Kual. So it's the front two who are coming off. Kual and DePizio off. And it's two more youngsters in. Arthur DeLima, who scored on his A-League debut away to Brisbane Roar. And Bailey Brantman, who has scored in this Asian Champions League Elite campaign for the Mariners. Can they make an impact? This is the opportunity for them. Obviously, Mariners are chasing this game, but also Mark Jackson will have one eye on a crucial A-League clash with Wanderers on the weekend. Maybe looking at rest players. Anonymous here says, no Brian Caltech brain fades. It's been very calm and composed at the back. We haven't seen Brian Caltech make some mistakes this season. Overall, he has been good. But Diesel Harrington tonight has been very, very good. Some of his challenges, times to perfection. And that might well give something Mark Jackson to think about once again. Obviously, you know, if both Sainsbury and Caltech are fit and ready, then you'd imagine they'll start. Here comes Mariners. Down the left again. Moragas' cross. Dangerous area, but cleared away. Eames. Can we create? Come on. Moragas, right-footed cross. Heavy touch by DeLima. Back for Eames, who fires wide. A bit more pace as well. There's a bit more pace in the Mariners' attack, which is helping us. And you can see Mark Jackson applauding the team, trying to keep up the positive energy. Trying to spark his team into action. Still plenty of time, man. Just touch from Moragas there. Mariners still have the likes of Smith, McCalmont, Fahau on the bench there as well. Anonymous asks, do you think winning the treble last season has led to a slump in motivation? Why bother when we won everything kind of thing? I don't think so at all. I don't think so. Look, if anything, we wanted to keep it going. We wanted to go for, the triple. Go for the hat-trick of championships and as well competing in the Asian Champions League Elite, which is the next step up. That's the one trophy we haven't won. Sorry, one of two trophies we haven't won. Mariners haven't won the Australia Cup. So I think there was definitely the motivations there. But I just think that the two things that affected Mariners this season, while we have dropped down, is the players we've lost. We've lost some incredibly talented players. I think that Nisbet and Ballard were just incredible last season. And losing those two guys is obviously it's going to be always going to be so hard to replace those guys. And the other thing is injuries. Injuries have seriously affected Mariners this season. Look at all the quality players who have missed so many games this year for the Mariners. If we had a fully fit squad, we probably would be top four at the moment. I seriously believe that. Look at the squad we have on paper, man. I mean, the signing of Sainsbury alongside Caltac. DiPizio was set to have a real breakout season. Brad Tapp, who started the season very well, he's out with an ACL. Like, on paper, I really do believe we got the team. And Mikhail Docker's still around, and he has been good this year, Mikhail Docker. The injuries, such a huge factor for me. Yeah, look, it is disappointing that we didn't necessarily get a fee for those guys. Nisbet was off contract as far as I'm aware, right? And with Max Ballard, yeah, that was an interesting one. That was an interesting one. The club choosing to allow Ballard the opportunity to go. I do wonder what the club's thinking was in that situation. Bob asks, how long have you been an A-League fan? Well, I've been following the Mariners since they sort of started in 2005. Back then I was just a kid. So I guess you can say since then, since season one. Since season one. Hunter also says Seneca's Mariners have definitely been trying. It just seems that most teams have just been outplaying them. All right, free kick here for Kawasaki. Over on the left, 4 players on the wall for Pamasic. Again, second goal here for Kawasaki. Could be enough to seal victory at this stage. Delivery's good. Just wide, dude. Going direct for goal. And it was just wide from Yasuto. I've been an A-League fan for 20 years. Almost, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. Hey, 2025. Almost forgot what year it was there. Yeah, 20 years, eh? Loose touch again. Kazewski. You can see how quickly Kawasaki go. If they get the chance to, win the ball back quickly, their players spring forward, and we do see that from these quality teams, man. They get the ball, and they're so aggressive in the way they play. And here they are again, Kawasaki catching us out of the back. Shot comes in, and it's wide. I wonder what the temperature is in Kawasaki right now. Let's ask you. What's the temperature in Kawasaki, Japan? 4 degrees. 4 degrees Celsius right now. A chilly evening in Japan for this match. I wonder what that must be like for the Mariners squad, man. Going from playing in Australian summer heat to a chilling night in Kawasaki, Japan. $20 minutes to go, man. Central Coast Mariners trailing 1-0. Again, just sloppiness going forward, letting us down at this moment in time. And try and find a bit more quality in the final stages of this match. Linker says Vukovic retiring really hurt the Mariners in the short term. Pavlicic, Parech Cullen will play for the long term, I still think. Yeah, look, Parech Cullen, people shouldn't forget this guy's 18 and he's come in, no one expected him to be the starting goalkeeper for the Mariners this season. He's come in from round 1 and he's actually done all right. Obviously, there has been some errors here and there, but, that's going to come in any goalkeeper's first season. He has made some phenomenal saves this season for Parech Cullen. For an 18-year-old playing week in, week out, he's done all right. The Aris crossing, a bit heavy on the delivery again. Look, I don't mean to be picking on Theo, man. I don't mean to be picking on him, but he'll be so frustrated. Double change for the Mariners. On the way. McCalmont and Fahau coming on. Wolfie asks, do you see Sydney FC holding on to the top 6? They have some tricky games coming up, and can they perform at home? Yeah, the inconsistency has just been really hurting Sydney. Some weeks they look amazing. Joe Lolly is still top of the goal scoring, stats. I'm not super confident. I think they might finish in either 5th or 6th at this rate. I think the Melbourne teams will still be above them. But yeah, I think there's a serious chance they slip out. I think they're, that sort of that. You look at the Sydney teams there: Macarthur, Sydney Wanderers. I think Mariners, Wellington Jets are still in the mix for me as well. It's going to be interesting. Look, they probably will hold on. They should. They've got the quality to. Here comes Kawasaki. That's a great run, and that's a good save. Pavlicic down to his left. It's very good. What else is I'm thinking about doing YouTube? I tell you what, the A-League needs all the support you can get. That's why we're doing this, man. It starts from the fans. Anonymous says, come on, Alfie. I need to see a lot more from him. McCalmont on his first minutes since the injury he picked up against Wanderers about a month ago. Fahau also came on for Thea Harris. And who came off for McCalmont? I didn't see. Might have been Eames. No, it was Steely, was it? How still did he come off? Mariners can still make one more change. So, well, I'll tell you what, good to see Harry's still getting a much-earned, well-deserved rest. Yeah. And that's right, Troy. He says, the A-League is nothing without the fans. So looking at the bench at the moment for Mariners, players who could still come on at the end here. I would love to see Noah Smith get a run, man. Would love to see him get a run here at the end. Shakluna actually wouldn't mind seeing him make an appearance. And it says, after watching this season, it goes to show how vital Vukovic was last season, especially considering the amount of goals they led in this season. Is the same as the end of the last regular season. I mean, Vukovic, yeah, I mean, he was just so crucial to Mariners' success over the last few years, wasn't he? What a guy. Vitor Ferreira on the pitch right now as we speak. Vitor Ferreira, unfortunately for him, just hasn't quite sort of found form at the Mariners this season. He's had to make a lot of appearances off the bench. And that's right, yeah. Anonymous says Vica's leadership and presence on the field was a big reason we did so well last season. Yeah, he was our leader, man, and he kept the back four in check, that's for sure. And obviously, it's a complete change. You have an 18-year-old, and again, nothing against Dylan Brech-Carlin. I think he's actually been very good this year, but it's a completely different vibe when you're going from a guy in his late 30s, so much experience and quality in Danny Vukovic, and a player who's raw coming into just starting his professional career, and Dylan Brech-Carlin, a bright career ahead too. It's a different vibe. So probably 15 minutes or so remaining here. Again, Mariners getting forward on the occasion, but more often than not, it's just coming unstuck. The quality's not there, loose touch. I mean, you're probably going to give a lot of credit to Kawasaki as well, who have done well to sort of nullify these attacks. They've kept their structure really well. They haven't really made many mistakes at the back. But again, neither of Mariners. Abdul Faisal, he's on the ground and doesn't look too well. He's might be a bit winded. I've just seen Hayne Ames is now wearing the captain's armband. That's a big one. Hayne Ames, 16 years of age, is wearing the captain's armband. How about that? Oh, dude. Abdul Faisal, absolutely taken out. He's back to his feet now, which is good to see. But how about that? That is worth pointing out. Hayne Ames, 16 years of age, is currently wearing the captain's armband for the Central Coast Mariners in the Asian Champions League Elite. That really sums up this club, hey? I think you're right as well, Anonymous. Yeah, Steely subbed off for Alfie. Good. Harry Still's getting a rest, man. He's played so many minutes this season in all competitions. Kazowski goes down. No free kick. Play on. And Mariners. It's still 1-0. And all it takes in football is one moment, as we know very well. And Mariners are now committing even more numbers forward. The fullback's getting high. Moragas is there. No, Calmont swings it in. That's no one in particular. This is the funny thing. You got Bailey Brantman and De Lima up there. Two players who aren't necessarily recognised sort of strikers like an Ali Kowal or a Ryan Edmondson. And that's maybe one of my concerns for Mariners in the final few months of the season. With that injury to Edmondson, there's a lot of reliance on Alu Kawal. Nico Duarte out as well, another striker option for the Mariners. Yeah, with injury as the shot comes in for Kawasaki, blazed wide. They've come close, man. They have come close. They easily could be up 2 or 3-0 Kawasaki. But it means Mariners are still in with a chance here. Still in with a chance. Replay showing that it may well have been disallowed if it went in due to offside, but 10 minutes to go, folks. 10 minutes to go. We haven't had too many stoppages. Maybe a few minutes to be added on at the end of the match. Come on. Come on. This is it. The final minutes of this competition, man. That's a wayward pass from the goalkeeper at the back, and Mariners. Here we go, dude. We just have to go forward here, man. We've got nothing to lose. That's the thing right now, at this moment in time. 10 minutes left in our Champions League campaign. We have literally nothing to lose. And what a moment it would be for this young team if we could go and snatch an equaliser. Unless Kawasaki can come forward and seal it. Here they go. Kawasaki are in. Kazeski, did he make the challenge? It's a penalty. Or has the flag gone up? The flag has gone up. That was a nervy moment. No penalty. No penalty. I'm sure VAR will have a check of that. But the ref certainly pointed for a penalty, didn't he? Offside confirmed by the looks of things. That did look offside. But I tell you what, I mean, I don't even think Kazeski, it probably wasn't even a foul. That was a soft touch. And yeah, that was a nervy one. Few indeed. Referees halting things for a moment as they check it, but that did look offside, and I think regardless, it probably wasn't even a penalty anyway. Minimal contact. But Marcinho, who was down away on the left, was surely just offside there. Nathan Paul maybe playing him on. No worries, Bob. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Have a good one. Don't forget as well, the young Socceroos have just kicked off a moment ago. Final group stage game for the Aussies in the Under-20 Asian Cup. They are still having a look at this penalty, man. They're still checking this. I'm not sure why they're still analysing this. I mean, it looked offside, right? But this check is going on longer than expected, which could suggest that maybe he is onside. And maybe they're looking at the actual foul itself. But why is this taking so long? I mean, from the naked eye, it looked bad. I mean, the camera angles are always deceptive, right? But it did look off. It did look offside. Mariners can also still make one more change. More players, more options on the bench. I mean, the replays are showing us. I mean, that looks pretty clear offside. Nathan Paul's on the on the other side of the field, maybe keeping him on, but yeah, as Blinker says there, it took way too long to make that call. Looked pretty straightforward to the naked eye, but VAR needed a few minutes just to clear it. Not sure why. So, Mariners come forward through Brantman. Gotta keep committing numbers forward, man. Gotta stay on the front foot. I'm liking the speed that we're attacking with. That pass from Eames is not the correct one. Howe loses it with a heavy touch. There's a free kick. Come on. Giving away the foul. G'day, Cameron. Still 1-0 to Kawasaki. We'll make sure to keep the live score updated at the bottom. I'm sure it will, Troy. Yeah, that'll add a few more minutes on to in injury time. We should have at least maybe 5-6 minutes at least, I think, in injury time now. that probably took at least 3 minutes, didn't it? That VAR check. Felt like it at least, but like from the game halting to the game getting back underway. So we may still have some football to play, folks. Appreciate you guys tuning in for tonight's game. Always good to do a Mariners watch along here on the channel. Hit the like button to support. Plenty of football coming up as well for Australian football fans. We've got the Matildas in action this week as well in the She Believes Cup. Taking on Japan on Friday morning, Australian time. 3 games coming up in the next couple of weeks for the Matildas. Japan, USA, then Colombia. Young Socceroos are into the knockout phase of the Under-20 Asian Cup as well. That quarterfinal will take place Saturday night. Saturday's going to be a big day, man. We've got New Zealand derby. We've got a Melbourne derby. Of course, I'll be keeping a close eye on the Mariners game. We've got the Young Socceroos in action in the quarterfinals. There's a lot to look forward to. And the A-League season, men's and women's, is certainly heating up at the moment. On Sunday afternoon as well, I believe it is this Sunday, yeah, Melbourne City are in action in the Asian Women's Champions League in the quarterfinals. It's a huge game for that club. Hunter asks, will you be doing any watch-alongs for the Matildas and Young Socceroos? I keep it on the channel. Depending, obviously, we'll have to wait and see, where the Young Socceroos finish in their group and what quarterfinal they do have. But we may try and do a watch-along for the Young Socceroos on Saturday. Won't be able to do watch-alongs for either of the derbies on Saturday, because obviously I'll be at the Mariners game. So, Young Socceroos. It might be a later kickoff, and we might try and do a late Saturday night watch-along for that one. So keep an eye out on the channel. And may well try and catch a Matildas watch-along. But yeah, best way to keep up to date is to just be subscribed to the channel. Faisal. Dribbling at the defenders. The shot, ooh! Bouncing around. It was dangerous. Could have gone anywhere. And Eames has worked so hard tonight, man. Bringing it forward again. Wearing the captain's armband. Incredible, dude. Eames again. Cross to Brantman. Brantman still trying to find an opening, dude. Dude, this is on. Mariners have all the momentum now. Faisal is not looking well. Mariners do have one more substitution they can make. Faisal, who was down hurt about 10 minutes ago. He's down again. G'day, Matt. Matt asks, who could be the replacement if Zulic does eventually leave? That's a great question. It's a great question. I mean, who's available, right? I mean, they'd love someone like Graham Arnold or Perth Corey. Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? Who do you think, Matt? Who would you like to see at Perth Glory if it's not David Zulic? So, Abdul Faisal may well be coming off here. Looks a little bit sore. Change is being readied. Stormer is going to come on. Abdul Faisal is saying he's good. Mark Jackson's waving us for Stormroot to come on. I think Faisal wants to stay on, but you don't want to risk anything here. Abdul Faisal just maybe needs to be reminded that he's going to be needed in a crucial clash in a few days' time on the Central Coast against Western Sydney. Alrighty. That change being confirmed now. Faisal's off. Again, looks very bright in this game. He's shown some good signs, Abdullah Faisal, and Storm Ruzon. That'll shift Sash Kazevsky further up the field, right midfield. Kawasaki haven't quite managed to create too many opportunities in the second half. Let's have a look at the stats towards the end here. 12 shots, just 3 on target for the home team. 4 shots for Mariners, yet to find the target. And possession's evened out, man, that's for sure. Possession has started to balance out a little bit more. Kawasaki, I think, had 66% possession that first half. Mariners enjoying a little bit more of the ball now. 8 minutes added on. That's a decent chunk of time. Plenty time. Plenty of time here for Mariners to find the equaliser. Look, the effort's been there in the performance. I really do think so. And we've said that a lot throughout this season for the Mariners, that the effort, I think, has been there more often than not. Maybe just lacking a bit of quality, a bit of cutting edge, especially in the final third, which is sort of the same old story, isn't it, as well, for the Mariners. Again, defensively, against the top team, I think we've been all right. I think Diesel Harrington's been fantastic at the back. Final moments in the Asian Champions League Elite for the Mariners. Eight minutes added on, don't forget. 8 minutes. Again, the long ball comes forward, but just far too easily coming unstuck. And again, there's Harrington with the defensive intervention. So many times tonight, Harrington has won possession back for the Central Coast. He's been very, very good. Diesel Harrington, his brother Lucas Harrington, currently on the field for the Young Socceroos tonight in the Under-20 Asian Cup. Again, and we shouldn't forget how incredible this is. Like, because Mariners, you look at the names and just the age of the players on the field is quite incredible. So much youth, so much potential. 16-year-old Hayne Ames wearing the captain's armband. DeLima, Brantman leading the line in attack. And here comes Kawasaki on the attack. They've got the numbers. Great dude. Harrington again. What a block. He's pulled up too. He's gone down to the turf. This has been an incredible performance from Diesel Harrington, who again, look at the way he sprints across to cover for Nathan Paul, who was out of position. Denies that cross. This has been a stellar performance from Diesel Harrington in defence. If it wasn't for him, this game may well have been over some time ago. Again, we'll see whether Sainsbury's fit to feature on the weekend. But if not, I'm feeling pretty good about Diesel Harrington. Hey, as Troy says here, Harrington giving it his all. That's right. That's what you want to see, you know, right at the death here. 94th minute, sprinting back to make a crucial block. Love it. I love it. So, Mariners again. Pushing forward. Kazewski on the right. Come on. Nice run, Kazewski, who's getting his shirt pulled. He's gone down. Oh, he's gone down. Maybe not that much contact, but he had the little shirt pull just prior to that. Definitely a big shirt pull there. That's probably enough to call for a free kick. Went to go the other way, and it's not enough contacts to be a penalty, unfortunately, Sasha. But I love the energy. He always puts in 100% effort. Sasha Kazewski, great to see. He's been utilised quite a lot this season for the Mariners. Whether it's at right back or at right midfield. The minutes are ticking away for the Mariners. Just need this last gasp equaliser. It's been great to see that pocket of travelling fans in that top right-hand corner of the stands who have travelled over to Japan for this match. Great to see. It'd be great to give them something to cheer about at the end here. Hey. Couple minutes left. It's been a great spectacle. Kawasaki Frontale fans out in strong numbers. Huge experience for this young squad, dude. I mean, this is just incredible. These, this group of teenagers. Hey, names. Look at him. 16-year-old Hey Names. A little bit of push and shove at the end here. I don't see anything wrong there. Hey, Names. The referee wants to cool it down. I don't think that's necessarily needed. The players want to get on with it. So, Pat Vlasic is going to send this along. Final moments here. Appreciate you guys tuning in here for tonight's watch along. Pavlicic from the halfway line. Flicked on by Paul. Paul again. Harrington. DeLima goes to... Ooh! Referee says no pen. I mean, DeLima's bundled over there, right? Is the flag up for offside, is it? I mean, how can that be offside? Where was the offside? I'd love to see a replay of that. I'd love to see a replay. Thanks for the score update in the comments in the live chat here. 1-0 to Oz. Thanks for that, Blinkers. Hunter. Deadvid Divide says it's 2-0 now. Up the young Socceroos. One last attack here. Kawasaki are in behind and have sealed it with a second. Well, it's been a valiant performance from the Mariners, especially at the back. But once again, the opposition side with too much quality. And as we said earlier, that's what happens when you get that opportunity, that chance. That pass over the top, lobbing Pavlicic. And that'll seal it, dude. That will seal it. It is 2-0 to Kawasaki Frontale. Lovely goal, man. The through ball and the finish, the lob. I mean, that sort of sums it up, right? You know, that's how clinical these opposition teams are. These are the best teams in Asia that we are coming up against. They get the chance and they take it. They take it. You know, what can you say? What can you say? Again, I think we just have to be proud of our team and the effort that they've put in, but in terms of quality, we just haven't been able to match it. That is full time in Japan. 2-0 to Kawasaki Frontale in the end. Oh, dude. I mean, it felt like at the end that maybe the equaliser was coming. The energy was there. You could see we sort of sped things up a little bit in attack, which was good to see. Ball movement was a little bit quicker, committing some more numbers forward. Harrington was incredible at the back. Moragas was lively. Faisal was lively. Hayne Eames worked so hard, dude. Again, this is such a young team. There's just, so many academy products in this setup for the Mariners. Wow. Blinker says, decent effort, but not quite good enough. Rudder says, Pavlicic did okay. He made a couple of really good saves. He did make a couple of really, really good saves. Let's look at the stats to finish off here. 13 shots for Kawasaki, the 4 on target. Just the 4 shots for the Mariners. Possession did start to balance out a bit. Did favour the home team. So the Central Coast Mariners Asian Champions League Elite campaign comes to an end, and unfortunately will finish bottom of the East, area of this competition, Group A, if they're calling it that. So disappointing in the end, but again, the quality of the opposition teams that we're coming up against is just hard to match, isn't it? Just the 1 draw, the 7 defeats. 9 goals scored across the 8 games to 21 goals conceded. Mariners now turn all of their focus to the A-League men's, looking to chase a spot in the top 6. We are taking on Western Sydney Wanderers on the weekend. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out. And keep an eye on the young Socceroos who are in action right now against China in the Under-20 Asian Cup. So subscribe here to Coast Football for more live watch alongs just like this one. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next one.